come. We have to go. No, 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 no! Stop! Stop!
The wolf heard the noise and immediately rushed back. When it saw Annie lying motionless on the ground, it panicked. Like a child who had done something wrong, it kept rubbing its body against Annie, trying to wake her up. Just then, the lion also arrived. They circled around Annie anxiously, roaring as if seeking help from humans. But this was a deserted island. There was no one around to respond. As night fell and the wind grew colder, they still refused to leave, silently guarding Annie's side. The next morning, Annie's grandfather realized she was missing and she wasn't answering her phone. He immediately set out on a boat to search the lake. Hearing the familiar sound of the motor, the wolf howled loudly. Following the sound, the grandfather finally found the unconscious Annie, but the wolf and lion beside her made him too afraid to approach. Helpless, he had no choice but to call the forest police. Soon after, Annie was rushed to the hospital. The doctor said that, fortunately, the wolf and lion had kept her warm with their bodies. Otherwise, she might not have survived the freezing night. When Annie woke up, the first thing she did was anxiously ask about the wolf and the lion. But to her surprise, her injury had unintentionally exposed their existence. The forest police captured them and quickly contacted the relevant departments. The snow wolf was handed over to the Snow Wolf Breeding and Protection Center. As a rare species, it received proper care and even reunited with its long-lost mother there. It turned out the mother wolf had been rescued by the center earlier, but the lion wasn't so lucky. It was sent back to the circus. The ringmaster told his son that to tame the lion completely, you must make it feel fear. As he spoke, he whipped the lion fiercely with the lash in his hand.
Fast.
From then on, the lion became a money-making tool for the circus. It was locked in a wooden cage for people to watch. The lion was terrified and could only express its anger through repeated roars. But even so, it couldn't change its fate. Back at the hospital, Annie was extremely worried about them. One day, while the nurse wasn't paying attention, she secretly snuck out. She immediately contacted the Snow Wolf Protection Center, and after confirming that the little wolf was safe, her only concern left was the lion. She began visiting circuses all over the country. As long as she heard a circus was performing nearby, she would go ask if they had a lion. But each time the answer was disappointing. Meanwhile, the circus ringmaster was still taking the lion on tour around the country. One day, their truck happened to pass near the Snow Wolf Protection Center. The familiar roar reached the wolf's ears, and it immediately recognized the lion's voice. It howled frantically, calling for its friend, but the circus truck drove away without stopping. At that moment, a bold idea emerged in the wolf's mind. It was going to find the lion and rescue him. That night, the wolf dug a hole under the fence and quietly escaped from the protection center. After running a long distance, it finally found the circus's resting spot. Soon it dug a small PID outside the lion's cage and slipped into the circus with ease. But when it reached the lion's cage, it found it couldn't open the lock. In a panic, it fetched a stick, trying to pry the door open. The lion immediately stood up and helped. But just as they were about to use force, the fragile stick snapped. At that moment, the ringmaster, alerted by the noise, came out. The wolf quickly hid nearby. The ringmaster, noticing the lion's sudden agitation, grew suspicious and opened the door to check the situation. The wolf saw its chance. It leapt forward like an arrow, pounced on the ringmaster, then swiftly escaped with the lion. The two long-separated companions were overjoyed. They played and wrestled together as if they had returned to old times. Now they needed to go home, relying on the lingering scent in the forest. The wolf and lion kept searching for the direction of home. When they were hungry, they would sneak into supermarkets for a big meal, shamelessly enjoying the free buffet without a care for their image. Hearing the noise, the security guard thought it was a thief, but when he came out and saw the two massive animals, he was stunned. He immediately rushed into the security room and hit the alarm. But by that time, the wolf and lion had already vanished without a trace.